human nature. Throughout Michael's career, he always made it a point to personally reach out to the hot hitmakers of the moment when it was time to record new music. And rarely did these star artists miss an opportunity to work with the king of pop. One artist who got that opportunity was Akon. A couple of years ago, Michael invited him to a studio in hopes of writing new music. What resulted was one of the most memorable moments of Akon's life.
Like, my favorite moments was the day we actually met, because I didn't expect him to be that cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting him to be this just diva, just, you know, hard to deal with, barely speak, you know, gotta send his message through somebody else. You know, like, these are the stories that you hear. You know, so I'm going upstairs and I knock on the door. His bodyguard opens, said, okay, he's waiting to meet you. So I walk in and he's in a spinning chair, but he's facing backwards. So I walk in the room and his back is turned. And the guard says, yes, Mike's, you know, Akon's here. So he just spins around and just, like it was all choreographed, right? So off top, I'm like, oh boy, you know what I mean? As soon as he turns around and gets up, yo, what up, man? I was like, what up, Mike? And he gave me a pound, we hugged each other. He said, yo, man, I've been waiting to meet you for so long, man. This is a great honor. Thanks for showing up, thanks for making the time. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I should be thanking you right now for making the time, you know? But it was the craziest thing, because we sat down, we talked about Africa, we talked about my foundation, we talked about the music, we talked about girls. Like, we had a great, like, incredible time that day. I love movies. He was a moviegoer. He loves movies as well. And he was like, yo, man, I gotta take you to this theater. This new technology they got, it's like 4D. Like, it feels like, you know, the images are right in front of you, like you're actually in the mix of it. And I was like, nah, I know 3D. He's like, no, listen, you gotta check this out. I said, well, let's go. And he paused for a minute. He's like, okay, let's do it tomorrow. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I don't know how we expect to go to the movies, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is Michael Jackson. Like, how the hell are we going to actually go to the movies? So the next day, you know, he calls my room. We was both staying at the Palm in Vegas. He's like, you ready? I'm ready. I was like, yeah, let me get dressed. But at the time, I thought he was just joking. I didn't think he was really, I thought he was going to probably just rent, you know, we go through the back late night or something. This is broad daylight. So he grabbed the kids. They looking normal. Mike comes out. He has his disguise on, you know. So I starts laughing because I didn't recognize him, you know. It wasn't like he had a fake mustache or he had a wig or nothing. He just had a simple hoodie on. So when you look at it, he could have easily passed to be a Saudi or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're going into the mall. We get on the elevator, go down. We're going through the hotel where they have the IMAX thing. And as soon as we walk in, all these kids start coming running towards us, you know? So I'm like, oh, damn, I think they know who he is. And all the kids just caught running up to me, asking me for an autograph. So I'm like, okay, I should just go ahead and should I just toss him off before they recognize who he is or just play it cool? So he shakes his head and like as if, yeah, go ahead, do what you gotta do. So I sit, I'm signing autographs, taking pictures, and I'm looking at these kids' faces and they not even knowing that Mike is standing right next to me. Like, if they only knew this guy was standing right next, you know how much havoc that would have caused up in that place? So we get into the theater and then the manager greets us up front. So he comes and hands us the tickets. We're all seated. So as we, you know, talking, sometimes I forget that he's supposed to be in this disguise, you know. And I keep calling him Mike. Right, and this little girl hears us. She's like, and she looks over. And I think she recognized him. Like, I really think she did. So then when I realized she was peeping, then I start calling him Dave. But she wasn't stupid. So she runs up, full speed, goes all the way to the top of the theater. And I see her whisper. And I look up, and the girl's just pointing. And I know she's not pointing at me. Like, I know this. And I think he kind of felt it, too. So right before the movie was over, we just all got up and started walking out. But by the time we got to the car, everybody in that place knew that possibly that could have been him. It was just the funniest thing, man. He was extremely funny, you know, he tells jokes, he laughs a lot, he just liked to have fun.
Michael definitely had a sharp sense of humor, but when it came to making music, Akon remembers him being all business.
Well, a lot of our memories in the studio was a lot of it work because he was so focused on trying to get the right material out that we didn't really play around in there. You know what I mean? Like, we talked, but we rarely joked, because at that moment, regardless of what we was doing then, let's get serious and let's really do what we came here to do. He was never satisfied. Like, we might have passed up ideas that I know for a fact in my heart was smashes. He'd be like, nah, we gotta come up with better. We gotta come up with something better. I'd be like, Mike, you can't get no better than this. What do you mean? No, trust me. If we can create this, we can create better. So it was us over, and I promise you, as soon as we create something better than that, he'll say, we can do better. So we could never do better, because his expectation was so high, and I think that was one of the main reasons why it took so long for him to create a project and him to be happy with it, because he was so hard on himself and such a perfectionist to a point where no matter how incredible the record was, he believed it can get more incredible. Like, we never finished. It always became, we did tons of ideas. Like, I got ideas for years. Literally, I got ideas now that I probably use for myself because we never got a chance to use them. But I know were great, you know what I mean? Because music was always just fun and great going. But with him, it was a legacy that has to be, and a reputation that he had to have, and a standard that he had to continually match or get beyond, because he had accomplished and done so much to a point where he had to expand higher than where he was already at. He created a standard so high for himself that he could not see himself lose. But in this way, you know, I think I could never dispute with him, because at the end of the day, when the project was done, you couldn't deny it.
As we've learned